Hi there, Miranda Alt here with Keller Williams Success Real Estate and the Miranda Alt team with your Monday market update for Monday, December 19th, 2022. Thanks for watching. Happy holiday week. Happy Hanukkah. Hope you are enjoying this week. Some of you have kids home from school. I know mine are home. I've got one running around here with a few friends, so if it's a little noisy, sorry. We got kids home from school enjoying their holiday break. So a quick look at the real estate market for the last 7 days. We had 58 new listings hit the market. We had 79 go under contract. 78 closed sales, 20 price changes, and 20 on the private network. So that's way down from this time last year. So this week last year, we had 85 new listings. We had 129 go under contract, which is crazy town for the week of Christmas. We had 159 closed sales and 23 on the private network. So we're definitely down quite a bit from this week last year. And this week last year, of course, was an outlier. You know, 2021 was one of those years that every time you're going to compare anything to the 2021 year, it's going to look terrible because it was the best year we had ever had in the history of the National Association of Realtors. So obviously our numbers are lower than that, but it doesn't mean that 2022 was a terrible year. It just means it wasn't as good as the best year ever, right? So we're still having a great year. And here's the main thing to remember. Right now, buyers and people who are homeowners have more equity in their homes than they've ever had before. I had an open house this past weekend and I was so busy I hardly had time to do a video. If you saw the video, you know that I did it in the last 10 minutes of the open house because the open house was swamped. Why was the open house swamped the week before, the last weekend before Christmas? Because we still have buyers that are like, gosh, if I bought my house in 2017, I don't really care what the interest rate is right now. I have a lot of equity in my house and I can go get that big house that I always really wanted. And that's what was happening. I had a beautiful house on the market on tour. It's listed at $560,000. It's a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath home, 4,500 square feet, including the basement. Great English basement. I mean, it's the most ideal family home you've ever seen. I get people calling me every day about it. Gosh, that's a great house you have listed. Man, I can't believe how beautiful that is. Man, I hope that's still available. I would like to go come see it. So, you know, we have a lot of interest in that house. Why? Because that is the perfect, big house that people want. Maybe they started in a starter house and they bought that house because that's all they could afford in 2017. Well, gosh, what's happened to prices since 2017? They've gone way up. So now you might have $100,000 in equity that if you sell your house, you can go buy that big house and you're not going to have that big of a mortgage. And you know what? Mortgage rates are actually holding pretty steady. They've been coming down very, very slightly. We're at 6.25 right now. That's not that bad. Sure beats the pre-pandemic historical average of 8%. You know, out when I'm talking to people who bought their house in 1980, they remember when their interest rate was 18%. So 6.25 doesn't sound so bad, does it? We also have mortgage rates coming down right now. We saw that the Fed's only hiked the prime rate by by 50 basis points. So we know that they did a 0.5 point hike, which is less than they were expected because it looks as if inflation is coming down. It looks like we're making some headway. We're going to be into the recession at the beginning of 2023. Those inflation reports are not going to be great. Inflation is still really high, but it's better. We're on the right track. So it appears as though the feds are fighting inflation in an effective way that the market is responding really well to. So interest rates are coming down. Now, according to Barry Habib and Mortgage-Backed Securities, MBS Highway, we are going to see rates under 5% by June. And we still have a huge inventory issue. So that has not been solved. Why do we still have a lot of very low inventory? Now, this is mostly because home builders are not building as rapidly as they did before. They got really burned in 2008 when they were building them faster than they could sell them, and they ended up with a lot of inventory and that burned them. So they're not going to do that again. So we're not seeing those homes going up. We also had a supply chain issue. So it was taking longer for those new homes to be built. So now we are going to see some improvements in the inventory situation this spring. We anticipate, again, nobody has a crystal ball, but that's what we think is going to happen, that we are going to have more inventory come the spring. Number one, because it's taking a little bit longer for homes to sell. They're just not selling as rapidly as they did before. And that's okay. Prices are still holding steady. So what do you care if your house sells in 4 weeks or 2 days? As long as you get the price you want, who cares? So some other things to look at. Anyway, so that's going to affect inventory because homes will simply be on the market for a little bit longer. So if homes are on the market for a little bit longer, that means we're going to have a little bit more to sell as each day goes by, right? Because we measure our inventory and how many months it takes to sell out of whatever is currently listed. So if homes are sitting on the market a little bit longer, well, that means we're going to have a little bit more inventory. So a fair and balanced market is 4 to 6 months inventory. Anything under 4 months inventory is a seller's market. Anything over 6 months inventory is a buyer's market. We're never in any one of the markets for very long. We're kind of always going like this, right? We're kind of a pendulum. So it just matters on how fast we get from one to the other. We're never just stagnant. The market is constantly changing. It's constantly moving, and we constantly have to evaluate what's going on and adjust our expectations based on what's happening, okay? So that's kind of everything that's happening in a nutshell. Now, a couple of things. I read an article from Forbes today that had some expectations on what do we expect to see in 2023. We expect to see home buyer advantages in the form of 22.8% more homes for sale. Again, likely that's due to homes sitting on the market a little bit longer. Oh, and a sidebar to this article that I read and all of the statistics that I'm going to be giving you, you have to keep in mind that real estate is hyper-local. So the Midwest is going to be different than the surrounding coasts. Okay, the East Coast, the West Coast, the southern warmer climates, those are all much more extreme situations. For example, in California, where is this? I saw, darn it. I wanted to make sure that I quoted this. In California, they're going to markets in California will be maybe the exception because they said half the country may experience small price gains while other may see slight price declines. Listen to this. San Francisco, for example, likely to register price drops of 10 to 15%. That is because they saw those prices go so high. If you saw a 100% increase in your prices in 2021, 2022, well, those have to come down. So the affordability is just not going to be there. So some areas are going to see more drastic things happening than we are here in the Midwest. There are some speculations that the Midwest is going to be the sweet spot. Slow and steady real estate markets in these areas, Midwest, where homes continue to be affordable, will be the stars in 2023. So I think we are going to be better weathering the affordability challenges that they're seeing in other parts of the country, and people are going to be flocking to the Midwest. We are affordable. We have a great place to live. If you live in McHenry County or Lake County or Kane County, you know this is a great place to raise your kids. It's a great place to have a job and buy a house and build a life. This is a great place to be, and people know that. You can get a great house here for $600,000, man. You can get a great house. And if you go $600,000 in California or Arizona or Florida or any of those areas, you are not going to be getting very much for your money. So people move here. Hey, go on vacation. Leave during the winter months. You just go on a little vacation. You get a little reprieve from it. It's a great place to live. So I think in the Midwest, we're going to see less extremes. From what I'm seeing, my experience out in the world, out at open houses and out with my buyers looking at houses, I don't see our market really being affected very much this year at all. I think we're going to have a really strong seller's market. I think we're still going to be fighting some inventory issues. Those interest rates are going to come down. I think it's going to be a wild spring. So if you are thinking about buying or selling, I would say get in the market sooner than later. As a seller, you're still going to get a great price for your house. You're going to be able to capture a lot of that equity. And as a buyer, it's going to be a less competitive market right now than it is as the months go on. And those interest rates still appear to be holding pretty steady at 6.25, which is not a bad interest rate. And if they end up going lower, you can always refinance. It's not a big deal. That's my look at real estate in McHenry County. I'm Miranda Alt with Keller Williams Success Real Estate and the Miranda Alt team. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your Monday and have a happy holiday. I will be off next week, taking a little break for the week between Christmas and New Year's. I will be back in the new year. I'll see you in 2023. Have a great day. Bye.